We have just had another insane update in the Bricks and Minifigs scandal. We are finally getting information from Bricks and Minifigs franchise owners. They answered a ton of questions anonymously and finally have spoken out. Now, big shout out to Collecting Weekly, another YouTuber. I'll leave a link to his channel in the description so you can check that out. But all the responses in this video are from verified franchise owners for Bricks and Minifigs stores. All the sources have reportedly been verified, and this is a collective of owners, not just one or two people. This is quite a few people all agreeing on all these answers. Now, there was a vote of no confidence petition that has been rumored to be going around the Bricks and Minifigs store. So the first question was, is this petition real? And they answered yes, the petition is legitimate, and a majority of Bricks and Minifigs owners have signed it. This was a vote of no confidence, calling for them to step down and resign, and this has actually been sent to corporate, so they are fully aware of how all the owners feel. Bricks and Minifigs set up a royalty-free weekend scheme where people could go in and support their local Bricks and Minifigs store without giving any money over to corporate. So the next question was, who created that scheme? And the answer was, it was created by Bricks and Minifigs corporate. So basically their idea behind this was to make sure that Bricks and Minifigs stores continue to make money and make money back that they've lost because of corporate's actions without giving any money to corporate. But it was only for a weekend. However, a lot of stores declined to participate as they thought it put too much pressure on customers. They thought that they should automatically get rid of the royalties instead of promoting it as some sort of special promotion for customers to come in and support just their local store rather than corporate. It just seemed a bit more like a PR stunt than anything else. The next question was, how independent are Bricks and Minifigs stores? And the answer was, some stores are owned independently while some are temporarily or permanently owned by corporate. And corporate don't make day-to-day decisions on the independently owned stores. That is down to the franchise owner. So they'll make decisions about staffing and store operations, stock and purchasing, local advertising, community events, birthday parties, and sponsorship. However, those stores will still pay corporate for stuff like royalties, technology, equipment, and other required services. Question 4 is, how strong is the demand for a change in leadership? And the answer is, there is an overwhelming amount of requests for the current leadership to step aside and resign. And the owners that answered these questions stressed this is not a small number of people, this is a very high majority. So a bit like the petition that was going around that they've confirmed was real, there is a high number of franchise owners that want this current corporate to step aside, resign, and let someone else take over. The next question is, what is the current feeling amongst franchise owners? And apparently they keep openly expressing their dissatisfaction with the way corporate have dealt with the controversy. And the main complaints include corporate's handling of the crisis, the wording of public relations statements, a lack of accountability, corporate being disconnected from what stores are experiencing, and a lack of meaningful support for franchise owners. That does make me think they are kind of just sort of seeing what we're seeing, and they're getting no extra support behind the scenes to help them continue to make money. Because at the end of the day, like we've said from the beginning, most of these stores, well, all of the stores except that one that's now closed down, has nothing to do with this situation. And unfortunately, people are boycotting them to get to corporate, which I fully understand, but it's hurting individual owners' pocket. The next question is, has the outside crisis management and PR company helped? And according to the owners, it has provided little to no relief. They don't believe it's protected their business or helped them in any way, shape or form. And if I'm honest, from what we've all seen, they haven't done a good job at all. If anything, they're probably just making it worse. The next question is, are franchise owners trying to leave Bricks and Minifigs? And this one has had a range of reactions. Some want to leave the franchise. However, as we know from this whole situation, it's going to be very expensive and legally difficult to get out of it because there's contract requirements, transfer fees, minimum payment, and arbitration conditions. And I believe the transfer fee has doubled to $30,000. So yeah, Bricks and Minifigs make it very difficult for people to leave, and I think that's what we're seeing a lot in this situation. The next question was, what's life been like for store owners during this controversy? Owners say they've experienced severe harassment and disruption, and honestly, we've seen that. At the start, there was a lot of review bombing, a lot of people going to the stores and actively just being a nuisance, and obviously the boycott. But these are the reports that have been included in this statement. Large number of one-star reviews from people who have never even been customers from different countries, and this was about 4 or or 5 negative reviews per hour at one point. There's been death threats, bomb threats, online harassment, harassment in the stores. They've even harassed owners at their homes. They've broken store windows. I think we saw an image of that at some point. And there has been physical violence inside stores. And the owners believe that individual franchises are being punished for corporate's decisions and mistakes. And obviously 99.9% of the stores have no involvement in the original allegations that we now all know to be very true. I do just want to point out though that if we are going to stores and threatening people and doing horrible things with death threats, bomb threats, violent, going to their homes, just stop that. It's just ridiculous. They're human beings, we're human beings. They have nothing to do with it. They were not involved. Your anger is with corporate, not with these guys. You just need to stop that. That is just beyond ridiculous. Like, come on, use your brain. We don't need to be going and doing these horrible things to innocent people. Now, the next question was, how has the boycott affected individual stores? And they said the immediate financial damage is being felt by independent store owners, employees, and their families rather than directed at corporate. Now, obviously, corporate's pocket is going to be affected as well, but they're fine. You know, they've got lots of money. These individual store owners have to live off what they make in these stores. So I can see why the boycott has definitely affected them massively. And like I said, it's a tough one because you do want to boycott them so that corporate don't get any money, but also you don't, because you don't want these independent store owners that are innocent in all this to suffer big time. But yeah, it's just one of those. I'm not sure where your head is at. Let me know in the comments, but I think most people are just boycotting for the fact corporate don't get any money. But then that scheme that they put on, if they just got rid of royalties altogether while the legal case is going on, maybe people would maybe shop there. I don't know. But yeah, it's a sticky situation and I can understand why people are boycotting it. But obviously there are innocent people's lives that are being ruined because of corporate's action. The next question is, what happens if an individual store fails? And according to the franchise owners, the store can return to corporate, be sold to another owner and continue operating. But we know how messy that can be, and pretty much the reason we're in this mess now is when a store changes hands, a lot of stuff goes on or doesn't go on that should, and nothing really gets done or sorted properly, and it's very difficult and very expensive for the store owners to get out. And they said the previous owner may lose their original investment, the time spent building the business, the value of the store and their livelihood. So basically the store owner loses out completely. Corporate obviously get the business back and can sell it on and make more money, so it's a win for them. Doesn't really matter to them, I guess, but as a store owner it's a massive loss. And the last question, and probably one of the most important questions, is what do the owners want the public to understand? And their answer basically said they want people to understand that independent franchise owners and employees are also victims of the situation. They then say local owners did not make the corporate decisions but are suffering the financial and personal consequences, and they have a final message. And their final message is essentially store owners feel alone in the fight against corporate while their livelihoods are the ones suffering. Like I said, going in there, being aggressive, violent, stuff like that is beyond ridiculous. We have to understand that these are innocent people. It is McNeff and the corporate that you are angry at, we are angry at, and this has nothing to do with these individual store owners. And they also said corporate are extremely out of touch of what the employees and franchise owners have to go through on a day-to-day basis. And I can totally understand how they feel there, because if I'm honest, everything they've said and done just feels like they have no understanding of what the store even is run like on a day-to-day basis. But yeah, that came all from verified sources being owners of Bricks and Minifigs stores. Like I said, I'll leave a link to the channel and the video brought this all to light in the description. If you did enjoy this, please leave it a like, hype the video, it spreads it far and wide. Subscribe, we are so close to 2,000 subscribers, and I'll see you guys next time.